Hi friends, welcome to my channel. This is the Happy Homemaker and I'm very happy to be with you here today. I'm trying to talk about how to keep your house clean on a regular basis. And there are certain things that if you do every single day, it will make your house clean, as if it's almost cleaning itself. So it's very important to have these things in mind because things can get away from us. And I understand that. That happens to me all the time. You know, sometimes I have my schedule for my weekly cleaning, but if I miss one thing on that list, am I going to remember it next week? And last week I talked in my video about having routines and how important that is, and how important it is to know what you're doing and when you're doing it so that you can psych yourself up, first of all, but you can also know what has been done. So there are 5 tasks that you can do every day to make sure that your house almost cleans itself. And they're very easy. They take, 5 to 10 minutes at most, and your house will look really clean. So to start, the first thing I think it's make your beds. And I say plural there because if you have kids, even young kids can be taught to make their own beds. But I will not talk about this because I have a teenager. He doesn't make his own bed in the morning. So I make his. On weekends, sometimes he does it, sometimes he doesn't. But I'm usually the one doing that. But making the bed really makes your room look clean. You can see behind me, this room does not look like this every day because my husband takes naps in here in the afternoon. He's retired, so I always make sure I say that. And if you saw my video last week, I think I mentioned something about that. But make sure that you make your bed in the morning. It gives you a sense of accomplishment for the day. It also helps your house and your bedroom to look really clean. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Fly Lady, but the Fly Lady is something that I used back in 2004 when I was still trying to figure out how to be a homemaker and how to make everything work. I had been married for about 2 years and I didn't know how to be a homemaker. I didn't know how to get things done. Nobody had ever taught me. I grew up with a lot of help around the house. My mother worked, and it was never something that was thought of as something that I would need in the future. It was always just assumed that I would have help, like my family had always had help. So, and that didn't turn out to be true. So I got married. The budget was very small. There was no room even for a weekly cleaning lady. So I had to be the one figuring out how to deal with the household, how to make sure that everything got done, how to cook dinner at night. And I figured out the food part pretty well because I love to eat and now I love to cook, but I taught myself how to cook. But when I was still trying to figure out what to do every day, it was very important to have a guide. And in those days, it was the Fly Lady. And she talked about your shiny sink. If you've ever heard of the way that she goes about homemaking, the shiny sink is very important. So keep your sink in the kitchen clean, without dishes, and shiny. In the bedroom, that is your bed. Your bed is your shiny sink. So I don't use her anymore. I don't feel that I need it. There are a lot of emails. I don't really like that. And I know she has an app too. I tried it. I never really got into it. So I have my own system now and that's what I do. So make your bed in the morning. It's very important. And one thing that's not part of the 5 tasks for the day is make sure you remember to clean your bed too. Your bed needs to be clean. So wash those sheets. Remember to wash your sheets every week. There are people who change their sheets even twice a week. I don't do that. I go with the once a week schedule, but it's very important to make your bed in the morning so that you can start off your day on the right foot. So to me, that's very important. If my bed isn't made, nothing else gets accomplished. It's really literally the first thing that I do. And my husband even jokes because he says that every time he comes out of the bathroom, the bed is already made because he's already gotten up and I'm in there and I'm making the bed and I'm leaving everything ready. So that's number 1, make your bed in the morning. That's very important. Number 2 is load your dishwasher at night or do your dishes by hand at night. Make sure that you do that every single day. I know there are people who save their dishes to do them at night. I think that's too overwhelming. That wouldn't work for me. I'm thankful that I have a dishwasher. So what I do is that I rinse the dishes and I put them all in the dishwasher all day long. And then I run the dishwasher in the evening. I have my routine where I set up my coffee maker and I run the dishwasher. The next morning I'm ready to unload that and then do the same thing again. So it's very important to load up your dishwasher at night. That keeps your kitchen clean. I know I'm harping on an old subject here, you know, do your dishes after dinner. And I know there are a lot of people who hate to do dishes, but it's so important to make your house feel clean. And you can stack habits as well. So maybe you have the habit of every time that you load up your dishwasher, you also wipe down your counters. That's something that I do. I'm loading up the dishwasher. Actually, my son does the dishes after dinner, but there are always things that he leaves for me, whether it's a baking sheet or a pot that he can't quite get clean, then he does that for me. He leaves that for me, and I clean it, I load it up in the dishwasher, and then I wipe down the counters. So there are just things that keep going like that. Oh, I have a reminder come up here on my phone. I use my phone to post these videos. It's the best thing ever, and it works really well. So I don't have a camera yet. I'm just starting out. But so you can stack habits like that. Maybe you vacuum the kitchen, and then after that, what you do is that you load up your dishwasher at the same time. And if there's something else that you do around the house, you know, add a new habit to that so that it can prompt your brain so that you can continue to do that. But that's super important, you know, making sure that your kitchen is clean at night, that your dishes are done. That's number 2. Number 3 is unload the dishwasher in the morning and fill it up. Are you noticing a theme here? There's a theme with dishes, and they can take over your house if you let them. Whether you leave them in the living room or in bedrooms, you know, they can really take over really quickly. So you really need to stay on top of them. And it's really not as difficult as you think it is. You know, it's just a matter of taking a few minutes to put them in the dishwasher or to do them by hand. I actually love to do dishes by hand. We have a summer home in Massachusetts. We don't have a dishwasher there. It's a beach cottage. We just have the sink. We have a drying rack, and that's what I use. I love to do dishes by hand. I learned how to do it, and I think it's super satisfying, and I just love it. But I know there are a lot of people who are not in that condition, but have a little bit of, you know, trust and faith in yourself. You know that it's important for the way that the house feels, the way that the house looks, for you to do your dishes. So make sure that you can also play games with yourself. Just say, no, I will do this for 5 minutes. Even the dishes that you can only get done in 5 minutes will be better than if you hadn't done any at all. So baby steps here. Think of that. Think of starting, even if you can't do the whole sink full of dishes, if that's too overwhelming for you. And there are a lot of people who either can't stand for very long, you know, they have chronic illnesses. I'm very conscious of that. You know, there are people who can't wash a whole sink full of dishes at once. So that's something to be thought about as well. But if you can, try to get through it. If you cannot do that, then do what you can. It will be better than if you had done nothing at all. So just be kind to yourself too. But what I do in the morning, if you don't have any issues, if you can get yourself psyched up to unload a dishwasher in the morning, do that with something else. I always unload my dishwasher when I'm waiting for my coffee to brew. So I build like a little pocket of time for myself, and that's when I unload the dishwasher. Then you load it up. That's part of this number 3 as well. Load it up with the breakfast dishes, and then your kitchen will be clean all day. If you work from home, that will be a little bit more difficult, but try to get that done before you go off to work. If you are a homemaker, then you have also the whole day and place where you can put all of your dishes throughout the day. That's what I do. I cook breakfast, I cook lunch, and I cook dinner. So breakfast and lunch, all of the dishes go in the dishwasher, and we are only a family of 3, so that happens. If you have a larger family, run the dishwasher after lunch so that it's clean for the dinner dishes. So I've done that before where I was having people over and there were going to be a lot of dishes. I just run it twice in the day. Who says you can't do that? You know, run it twice in the same day. That's why you have it. You have it for your convenience. So that's what I tend to do. And then number 4, vacuum and spot clean the kitchen. You know, do that every day so that it doesn't build up. If you wait a whole week to vacuum your kitchen, what you're going to find is that it's going to take you a lot longer to get that done. So I vacuum my kitchen every night. I don't mop it every night, but I vacuum it every night, but you can spot clean it. If there was a spill, take your mop out, run it over it really quickly. By spot cleaning, I mean cleaning all of the counters, and make sure that you're also working on your clutter little by little so that your counters are not overwhelmed with clutter. So that's something that I try to pay a lot of attention to. It isn't amazing how things just fill up. The counters just fill up with papers or with projects or with notebooks or things that we have, or tablets. I'm old-fashioned, so I have a lot of notebooks around my house. So it's very interesting how that area always seems to fill up with things. But I try to keep it clear so that I can wipe it down at night. And that's very important to me. And spot cleaning the kitchen, clean your stovetop too. That's part of this number 4 of spot cleaning the kitchen. Make sure that you don't leave anything that's baked on or cooked on the stovetop. Wipe it down. It takes 30 seconds and it's going to make your life so much easier when it's time to clean your kitchen during the week. And you may not even need a weekly cleanup if you do this every day, because your kitchen will always look clean. And then there are certain chores like the mopping and a more detailed vacuuming that you can do once a week. But for the rest of the time, your kitchen will be clean and it will be clean every day. And it's something that doesn't take a long time. You know, in my house, it takes me 10 minutes to vacuum and clean the counters, if that. So I've timed myself before, so that's why I can say that with certainty. So it's very important to make sure that you do these small tasks every day and they build up and your house always looks clean and you'll never be embarrassed if somebody stops over. There's nothing worse than that feeling. I don't know if you've been there. I have been there for sure, where you have neighbors stopping by and your house is a mess and you feel so embarrassed and you don't know what to do. And when we used to live in Connecticut, we lived in a cul-de-sac, so it was a neighborhood with a lot of houses really close together, and we knew our neighbors, and sometimes people would come over and I was in the middle of cleaning and I would feel just so, you know, embarrassed, like, oh my gosh, my house is a mess. I don't even know if I can have them inside, but I always brought them in, because here's how I see it. You know, if you want to connect with that person, it doesn't matter what your house looks like. You know, you can apologize. You can say something like, sorry, I'm in the middle of cleaning, or I haven't gotten to it yet today, if you want to. There are a lot of people who say that you shouldn't even do that. You know, don't apologize. It is what it is. And you can certainly go that route as well. But I think that if you put in a little bit of effort every day, you know, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, it really adds up. So that's definitely true when it comes to the kitchen. So, and then number 5, do 1 load of laundry a day. If you are a homemaker, you are in a wonderful position to do at least 1 load of laundry a day. But here's the catch. When I say do 1 load of laundry a day, I mean from start to finish. It means that you start the laundry and that you put it away as soon as that dryer beeps. I know sometimes that's hard to do. You know, there are a lot of clothes to fold and towels to fold. But I think it's very important to try to keep yourself on a system. I have a schedule for the days of the week. On Mondays, I wash darks and colors. On Tuesdays, I wash my son's bedding. On Wednesdays, I wash all of our towels and whites. On Thursday, I do another load of colors and darks. And then on Friday, I wash my own bedding. So I have a schedule like that. I don't do laundry on weekends. No, thank you. I will not be doing that now that I'm a homemaker. I did that for years when I worked outside the home and I had to spend the whole day doing laundry, and that is difficult. If you work outside the home, that's definitely something you can do, but I would still consider doing one load, starting it in the morning, put it in the dryer when you get home from work, and fold it and put it away before you go to bed. I know it's a tighter schedule. If you're at home all day, if you're a homemaker, you definitely are in a position to do this a lot more easily. But I think it can be done every day. It's something that changes your life. You will always be caught up on laundry as much as you can. Like I mentioned last week, I said this in my other video. If you want to go to my channel and look for it, the one that I posted last week, you know, I talked about having laundry going on a spectrum, and that's really what it is. It exists on a spectrum. You will never be totally caught up with laundry, because as soon as you're finishing one load and putting it away, somebody will have put something in the hamper that you will do. But then you do that next week. Nobody said you have to have an empty hamper the whole time. So it's very important for me to make sure that I remind myself of that. The laundry will not be totally caught up at all times, so that I know that it exists on a continuum. And that's okay. You know, there is no laundry police that's going to come to your house and say you haven't finished this today. But you can help yourself out, especially if you're a homemaker. Try to be organized enough to start the laundry in the morning. I have all of my chores that I do in the morning, my cleaning chores. One of them is always starting a load of laundry and then taking care that I get it out of the washer and into the dryer promptly as soon as I can, so that as soon as that dryer beeps, I take it out and I put it away. So that's very important to do. So that usually my laundry is done by 1 in the afternoon every day and put away. So I really keep on top of it, and I think you can too. If you just try it for 1 week and see how you feel. See if it's not going to make your house feel so much better, and you, for yourself, you know, in your mind, to feel so much better knowing that your laundry is done. And then number 6, I have a bonus for you. The way to keep your house clean, or making it look like it's clean all the time, is to put away what you've taken out. Now, I know if you're a crafter, that's hard to do because you take things out and you're in the middle of projects and you say, no, I'll get you this in a couple of hours, and then you never do. And then it's 2 days later and you still haven't done it. And in the meantime, your dining room looks like a hurricane went through. So, you know, as soon as you are done working with something, put it away. If you're taking off a piece of clothing and you don't know if it's dirty or clean, don't leave it on a chair. Either hang it back up, put it back in the drawer if you think you're going to wear it again, or put it in the hamper. So it's just these small habits that make sure that your house looks clean all the time. If I'm working on a recipe and, you know, something interrupts me, I'm going to put those ingredients away. And, you know, I'm not going to leave them lying there in the kitchen and making everything look messy. So put everything away as much as you can, whatever you've taken out, and kind of educate your family to do the same. This is something that you can do. You know, everybody needs to help. In our house, we have rules and everybody helps out. So my husband doesn't leave dishes or clothes or towels or anything hanging around. He hangs up the towels, he hangs up his clothes, or he puts them in the hamper, and he takes the dishes to the kitchen. I do the dishes, and that's usually how we make it work. The same thing with my son. He's a teenager, he's 15 years old, but there are never any dishes in his room. He takes them back to the kitchen and puts them in the dishwasher himself during the day. So there are certain things that you can do to get help. I know it's difficult, especially if it's a partner. You know, you're not going to be playing the mom and making them do certain things. I know it's a little more difficult to have those boundaries, but you need to have them. You should not be doing this by yourself, even if you're a homemaker and you're staying at home. I think you need to enlist help. I'm not saying you're going to have your husband cleaning the bathroom if he's working 40 to 60 hours a week. I don't agree with that. I think if you're at home and the person who's working shouldn't be doing chores, I think think it should be you, but there has to be a sense of agreement and of cooperation that needs to happen. So they don't make messes. You can clean up whatever else there is to clean up, and then your house will always look clean. You know, there are certain tasks that you can do every single day to make sure that that happens. So that's what I had to share with you today. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there, and it really helps out my channel. And I'm just starting out, but I love to teach what I've learned over 22 years of homemaking. I was not a good homemaker when I first got married. I learned through trial and error, and I'm just trying to keep you from making those same mistakes that I did. So if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure you subscribe and come back. I post on Fridays and I post on Mondays now as well. I decided last week to change the schedule and to post twice a week. So I will post on Fridays a longer video, this spoken type of video, you know, giving you advice and teaching you things that I've learned. And then on Mondays, I'm going to post cooking videos. The next one is going to be a blueberry lemon cake. So watch out for that. That'll be coming over to YouTube next Monday. And thank you so much for spending some time with me. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate everybody who watches, and I hope we can continue to consume this content. And tell me in the comments below if you enjoy it. What's it like for you to have a home to take care of? Is it overwhelming? Is it easier? Does it get easier over time? What has been your experience? Thank you for being here, and I will see you next week.